Today is March the 5th, 2026. I have got 9:28 p.m. This is Lieutenant Holloman. I'm in my office with Officer Tanner Williams. Before I turn the recording on, I read two forms to you. That is CPD Form 209, CPD Form 46. You signed here and here. Do you have any questions about either one of those?
I do not.
And you must answer fully and truthfully.
Yes.
And if you think of any questions at any point in time, please ask.
Okay.
So this is all about the Kings incident from Saturday, about 11:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So starting out, tell me all about the call.
Okay.
In its entirety.
Okay. So there was a call out at Kings, disturbance, I believe it was. Typically on a Saturday night at Kings, you're expecting alcohol and a large number of people. So I went over there to back officers that were there. When I got there, Officer Condor was speaking to a gentleman at the front doorway area, and so I just kind of stood back to the side and was there just to, I guess, be a backup in case there was some any kind of physical altercation that may turn out. Sat there for a little bit. I wasn't fully sure of what exactly was going on. A woman come out of the bar, and Officer Condor asked her, she was involved in some way. Officer Condor asked her about identifying herself or her husband that was supposedly involved. The woman said no, that she had already sent the guy home, walked off. At that point, it's one of those weird things where I was like, I recognize her, but I don't, and I couldn't place her. Officer Short and his rookie went over to speak with them. They had walked off to the parking lot across the street. Officer Short and rookie go over there to talk with them. We stay on scene. Officer Condor continues her investigation. At the end of it, he's got a designated driver there to drive him home. About the time that we released him to go home, Officer Short comes back over, and at this point we were turning our body cameras off, and he said that it was Angel Burnett. No, Angel Burnett through work, through RLEAP, stuff of that nature. She's helped me out a great deal with some incidents that happened a while back. So I walked over across the street just to say hi. I knew that she had some health problems recently, and the reason we didn't recognize her at the time, and this was coming from her mouth, is because she gained 80 to 90 pounds since the last time I'd seen her. So go over to talk to her. I give her a hug. Hey, how you doing? How's everything going? She told us about some procedures that she had coming up. After that, she told us that Paul Burnett was nearby, former officer here. We go over just to say hi. Hey, how's it going with Paul? And Paul was extremely intoxicated. It was really difficult to really make out a whole lot of what he said, and I was when I was telling my wife about the incident the next morning, I told her, I said, I think he was the drunkest I've ever seen a person that was conscious. But just kind of a hey, hi, catching up, and just see how everything's going. After that, that was the conclusion of that incident. We left the scene at that point.
Okay. My next question, I think you already answered it, but I want to make sure I understand. At what point did you know who is involved? So not only, it's two-part.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you know it was Angel, and what point did you know Paul was involved?
So it was close together with each other. Whenever Officer Short come over and said that was Angel, I went over to say hi to her, and then it kind of clicked in my head that it was told that it was her husband that was involved. Go over to say hi. About that time, I was like, oh, well, I guess that was Paul then.
So very quickly after you realized it was Angel?
Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't realize it was Angel until?
Until Officer Short come back across the street and told me it was.
When you turn your body cameras off, y'all hang out in front of Kings for just a very short amount of time. What was discussed right there?
Are you talking about in the parking lot?
I'm talking about while Officer Short is still on scene.
He just come over and said it was Angel. When he told me it was Angel, almost immediately I walked across the street to go talk to her. I didn't really talk to him or anybody in front of Kings at that point. I walked over to Angel.
Okay. My next question you've already answered. Did you or any other officers talk to Paul or Angel after the cameras were turned off?
Yes.
when you're at the car and you're talking to him
Mhm.
about the incident, was he asked about what happened? Did y'all ask Paul what happened?
I didn't ask Paul what happened. Like I said, I was over there talking like, hey, how's it going? How have you been? Stuff like that. He kept trying to say something about the incident, but it was one of those things where he would start talking and start giggling while he was in the middle of his conversation. So it was one of those things where it's just kind of smile and nod and not really know exactly what he had said.
Was you mentioned you said you did not ask him.
Mhm.
Was he ever asked?
I don't believe so.
Okay. And he was an alleged offender at this moment in time.
Yes.
Y'all did not turn your body cameras on.
No.
Why?
I guess at that point in my mind, it never crossed my mind. I wasn't at that point thinking about the incident itself. I was more just thinking of, hey, these are some old friends we haven't seen in a while.
Go ahead.
It just didn't cross my mind that to put that into like a law enforcement action perspective, if that makes sense.
Y'all are standing there in front of King's,
Mhm.
and Connor's talking to this gentleman and taking his report, and the gentleman says that the offender put his hand on his neck.
Mm-hmm.
That was the allegation.
Okay.
So why was that not investigated? Why was the offender not asked about that?
I have no idea.
Okay. My next question, I'm glad that you already answered this, but my next question was, part of the complaint that the gentleman had was that he didn't feel like it was taken seriously, and he thought that the person who took the report hugged the person who was involved that there. And so my next question was going to be, did you witness a hug from Angel and Condor?
No.
But
no, I gave Angel. Yeah, I gave Angel a hug.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so he did witness something.
Yes.
Okay, you can see how that would look.
Yes. Look at hindsight. Yes.
You have a gentleman who's making a report of this guy that's put his hand on my neck.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little being done.
Yeah,
And
hindsight,
now,
it does look. Thinking about it, it does look.
Now an officer's over there hugging him.
Correct.
So Paul was never asked about what happened.
I don't believe so. No, I didn't ask him any
You
questions.
didn't hear him be asked that. And then, so after the call's over, y'all get done talking to Paul and Angel. Was anything discussed about the incident?
Not really. No, we got back in my car and left. There was a gun there.
Right.
There was another call in between, but yeah, after that I left. So Angel called me after the fact and said, "Hey, do we need to worry about this Paul and this report?" And I said, "Angel, I didn't take the report." I said, "I'll call Condor real quick." Called Condor, asked her. She said, "No, there's nothing to worry about." So I called her back and said, "There's nothing to worry about, but if you know somebody that's missing a gun, then there's a report for it."
So Angel called you after.
Yes.
Did you tell her that anything was going to happen with the report or anything?
No, she asked me if there was anything that she needed to kind of have an eye out for, and I said, "I don't know. I'm not taking the report. I'll call Condor real quick and ask her."
So was the report ever discussed on how it was going to be done?
I don't believe so.
Did you discuss with anybody how the report would be done? This next question is if you know. You may not know.
Okay.
Why was there no offender listed in the offender tab?
I don't know.
The offender is not listed. The woman, which was Angel Burdett, is not listed in the report.
Mm-hmm.
And the narrative says that unknown female,
Okay.
unknown offender. Do you have any idea why?
I do not.
Did you tell anybody to do it that way? Did anybody tell you they were going to do it that way?
Condor said that she was going to do the offender was going to be unknown because it wasn't at the time. She didn't identify the offender at the time of the call.
In your opinion, was the offender identified?
Yes.
In your opinion, should the offender have been listed?
Yes.
Okay. which leads me into my next question. No one did a supplement. Condor did the initial, and that no one did a supplement. Why did no one supplement this report?
I did not supplement the report just because, as I said at the beginning, I was just kind of there. I didn't take any actions, ask any questions, although I should have. Looking, once again, hindsight now, when we talked to Paul, but I was just kind of there. I didn't take any actions or anything that I felt needed to be documented that weren't already going to be covered by Officer Condor.
So for clarification, you didn't know that, you did or did not know that the offender was going to be listed as unknown?
She told me she was going to list it as unknown.
Knowing full well that that's not correct?
Correct.
Did you say that's not correct?
No.
Okay. There was a female standing nearby whom Cody pointed out as the older male's wife. When Cody stated again that the male grabbed his throat, possible felony, the female turned around and stated he made an attempt, he never touched you, she then walked away. The female came back by and I asked her if I could speak with her husband. She stated she had already sent him home. We later find out that's not true.
Correct.
She was uncooperating and helping us identify the male and left the scene while I was still speaking to Cody. But we know exactly who she is. We know exactly who the offender is. Alleged offender. Okay. You mentioned one thing that I didn't have listed. Go ahead.
I would say at that point in the report, like real time, we did not, like, even Condor and I had no idea who she was. Because even I kind of looked at her like, she looks really familiar. And she said the same thing of, like, she looks familiar. But
well, I watched the body cams.
And that may have been
that's not said.
It may have been after the fact. Because I told her, I said, I thought she looked familiar. Like when we were leaving the scene, I thought she looked familiar, but I didn't realize that it was Angel.
But this report's not wrote in real time. This report is wrote after the fact.
Correct.
When it was been fully established who they are.
Correct.
The offender listed right here. Last name, UNK. First name, UNK. That is not correct. Would you agree?
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any other questions listed. That was the last thing I had, but you mentioned something earlier that triggered me to think of something. You mentioned our leap and you knew who she was. And
correct.
And I understand you didn't recognize her at first, and I can appreciate that. But at some point we did realize who that was.
Correct.
Do you know if Officer Condor knows them either through work or RLEAP or?
I would make the assumption that she does, but
get-togethers, shift get-togethers, anything?
I wouldn't say shift get-togethers. We very rarely have those anymore. But I would assume she does, but I can't say for sure whether she's done any kind of RLEAP stuff. When Officer Turney was shot several years ago, Paul and Angel both were very integral in getting me the help that I didn't realize I needed.
Very much appreciate that. Okay. I think I have asked everything. Do you have anything else to add?
I do not. If I think of anything later, am I able to call you and speak to you?
Absolutely. I don't have any other questions, but I do want to, the more I think about it, the more I want to clarify one.
Okay.
The question was there anything discussed after the incident? And you were like, no, when we get done, we went on. But then you just said, well, maybe I said that we didn't recognize her at first, and that was discussed. So was there anything else talked about this call after it was over?
Well, let me clarify that. I don't think there was anything discussed in pertinence to the call. More of just in passing of, I didn't even realize that was her.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, and like I said earlier, she even said that, she had gained close to 90 pounds but due to her health problems. And so there was nothing pertinent about the call itself or how to handle the call or should I do this, should I do that. More of just in passing, I didn't even realize that was her.
But it was known that the report wasn't going to be wrote correctly.
After the fact, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't have anything else, sir.
Okay.
So let's end it here. It is now 9:43.